Every year in June, on a quiet hill in the Indian state of Assam, the doors of one of the oldest Shakti temples swing shut. For 3 days there are no rituals, no offerings, and no prayers. This is because the goddess within, Kamakhya Devi, is believed to be menstruating. When the temple doors finally open again, the water flowing from the underground spring that bathes the sacred stone has turned a deep, mysterious red. Devotees who flock here by the thousands call it a divine miracle, a sign of the goddess's life-giving power. Scientists and geologists, on the other hand, call it a natural mystery, pointing to high iron content in the soil and water. But the truth, as is often the case, lies somewhere in the fascinating space between unwavering faith and the powerful forces of nature. This is the story of the Kamakhya Temple, a place where the earth itself is said to bleed. Welcome to a journey that explores one of the most revered and enigmatic sites in all of Hinduism. Here there is no idol of the goddess. Instead, devotees worship a yoni-shaped stone, a representation of the female vulva, constantly bathed by the waters of a subterranean spring. This temple isn't just a place of worship, it's the epicenter of Tantra, a spiritual tradition that embraces the divine feminine and the raw, untamed energies of the universe. The annual Ambubachi Mela, the festival celebrating the goddess's menstruation, is often called the Mahakumbha of the East. It's a vibrant, chaotic, and deeply spiritual gathering of sadhus, tantrics, and pilgrims from all corners of the globe. They come here not just to witness the bleeding of the goddess, but to absorb the potent spiritual energy that is believed to permeate this sacred ground during these 3 days. But how did this temple come to be? Its origins are shrouded in ancient myth and legend, a story that involves the great god Shiva and his consort Sati. According to the Kalika Purana, an ancient text, this is the very spot where Sati's yoni fell to earth after a tragic celestial event. It's a powerful creation myth that sanctified this land, transforming it into one of the 51 Shakti Peeths, the most sacred shrines dedicated to the divine feminine. Over the centuries, the Kamakhya Temple has been a seat of power, patronized by kings and revered by sages. It has survived destruction and has been rebuilt time and again, each layer of its history adding to its mystique. The temple's unique architecture, a blend of indigenous styles and classic Nagara design, tells a story of cultural fusion and resilience. The beehive-like shikara, or spire, is an iconic symbol, visible for miles around, drawing the faithful towards the sacred hill. As we delve deeper, we'll talk to geologists who have studied the area, historians who have traced its past, and most importantly, the priests and devotees who live and breathe its traditions. What causes the water to turn red? Is it simply iron oxide, as science might suggest? Or is there something more at play? An inexplicable phenomenon that defies easy explanation. We will explore the complex and often misunderstood world of Tantra, which finds its most potent expression here. Far from the sensationalized stereotypes, we'll uncover a sophisticated spiritual philosophy that seeks to harness cosmic energies for personal transformation and enlightenment. You'll meet Aghori sadhus, followers of a particularly intense path, who see this festival as a time of immense spiritual power. The story of Kamakhya is also the story of how a natural, biological process, menstruation, is not just accepted but celebrated as a symbol of fertility, creation, and the cyclical nature of life itself. In a world where this topic is often shrouded in taboo and silence, this temple stands as a powerful testament to a different perspective, one that sees divinity in the very essence of womanhood. So, what is the secret behind the temple that bleeds? Is it a geological anomaly, a profound spiritual truth, or a beautiful synthesis of both? Join us as we journey to the heart of Assam, to Nilachal Hill, to uncover the layers of myth, history, and science that make the Kamakhya Temple one of the most compelling sacred sites on the planet. Prepare to have your perceptions challenged and your sense of wonder ignited. The story is just beginning. To understand the true essence of Kamakhya, we must journey back thousands of years into the heart of Hindu mythology, to the story of the goddess Sati and Lord Shiva. Sati, the beloved consort of Shiva, was the daughter of the powerful king Daksha. However, Daksha never approved of his daughter's choice of husband, viewing Shiva as a wild ascetic, unworthy of his royal lineage. One day, Daksha organized a grand sacrificial ceremony, a yagna, and intentionally invited every god and king except for Shiva. He wanted to publicly humiliate his son-in-law. Despite Shiva's advice against it, Sati, deeply hurt by her father's actions, went to the yagna, hoping to reason with him and defend her husband's honor. But upon her arrival, Daksha only intensified his insults, publicly slandering Shiva in front of all the gathered deities. Overwhelmed with grief and rage at the unbearable disrespect shown to her husband, Sati made a fateful decision. Unable to bear the dishonor, she invoked her yogic powers and immolated herself in the sacrificial fire, her body consumed by flames. When news of Sati's death reached Shiva, his grief was boundless and his wrath terrifying. He descended upon Daksha's ceremony, destroyed the sacrifice, and in his inconsolable sorrow lifted Sati's lifeless body and began the Tandava, the cosmic dance of destruction, wandering aimlessly across the universe. The other gods, fearing that Shiva's grief would destroy all of creation, pleaded with Lord Vishnu to intervene. To calm Shiva and save the cosmos, Vishnu used his divine discus, the Sudarshana chakra, to dismember Sati's body. As Shiva continued his desolate journey, parts of Sati's body fell to the earth. Each spot where a piece of her body landed became sanctified, transforming into a sacred pilgrimage site, a center of divine feminine energy. These 51 sacred places are known as the Shakti Pithas. The Kamakhya Temple in Assam holds a unique and powerful significance among them all. It is believed to mark the very spot where Sati's yoni, her womb, fell to the earth. This is why Kamakhya is revered as the ultimate seat of creation, fertility, and life-giving power. The temple doesn't just commemorate a myth, it celebrates the very source of existence. The annual Ambubachi Mela isn't a festival of shame or secrecy. It is a profound honoring of the divine feminine's ability to create, nurture, and regenerate. It's a celebration of the earth's own fertility cycle, reflected in the goddess herself. This sacred ground reminds us that the power of creation is not something to be hidden, but a divine force to be revered and celebrated as the very foundation of life. We've explored the history and architecture of the Kamakhya Temple, a place vibrating with ancient energy. But now, we're diving into the heart of its most profound annual event, a spectacle of faith unlike any other. Once every year, this sacred ground transforms. Millions of pilgrims, sadhus, and seekers from every corner of the globe gather here for the Ambubachi Mela, an event often called the Tantric New Year. Imagine a sea of humanity, a kaleidoscope of colors, sounds, and scents, all drawn together by a shared, powerful belief. For 3 days, a deep, respectful silence falls over the main shrine. The temple doors are firmly shut. It's believed that during this time, the goddess Kamakhya, Mother Earth herself, undergoes her annual menstruation. She is resting, rejuvenating, and preparing for the year ahead. Devotees wait with bated breath, their prayers echoing through the temple complex, creating an atmosphere thick with anticipation. Then, on the 4th day, the moment everyone has been waiting for arrives. The doors of the sanctum sanctorum swing open, the crowd surges forward, eager to witness the miracle. Inside, the waters of the sacred spring have turned a deep crimson red. Devotees line up for hours to receive a small piece of red cloth, known as Angabastra, which has been soaked in these holy reddened waters. This cloth is considered a powerful symbol of fertility, a potent blessing from the goddess, believed to ward off evil and bring immense good fortune. Holding it is like holding a piece of the divine. The energy is electric. You see tears of joy, faces etched with profound devotion. For believers, this is undeniable proof of the goddess's living presence. But it also raises a fascinating question, one that sparks curiosity even among the faithful. What is the scientific or natural explanation behind this annual phenomenon? What really causes the temple's sacred spring to turn red? Let's explore the theories separating myth from verifiable facts. The most widely circulated explanation points to the high concentration of iron and cinnabar in the soil and rock surrounding the underground spring. Cinnabar, which is mercury sulfide, has a distinct reddish color. The theory suggests that when the spring water, which naturally has a high iron content, interacts with these deposits, a chemical reaction occurs, turning the water red through oxidation, similar to how iron rusts. This natural process, timed with the monsoon rains that often coincide with the Mela, could explain the annual reddening of the water. Another perspective comes from geologists who study the unique composition of Nilachal Hill. They propose that specific minerals, perhaps vermilion, which is also a source of red pigment, get washed into the spring by the increased groundwater flow during the monsoon season. This influx of pigmented sediment could temporarily color the water. So, while faith sees a divine miracle, science offers a plausible geological explanation. The beauty of Kamakhya is that both of these truths can coexist. The natural phenomenon doesn't diminish the power of the belief. For many, it enhances it, showing how the divine can manifest through the natural world. It is this very intersection of unwavering faith and natural wonder that makes the Ambubachi Mela so captivating. It's a place where science and spirituality aren't at odds, but instead, they weave together into a beautiful, complex tapestry. The red water, whether a divine blessing or a geological event, continues to draw millions, uniting them in a shared experience of wonder and devotion. For centuries, the mystery of Kamakhya has drawn not just pilgrims, but scientists and geologists as well. They arrive with their instruments and theories, seeking to explain the inexplicable. What causes the waters of the Yoni stone to run red during Ambubachi Mela? Some of the most common theories are quite practical. One hypothesis suggests that the vibrant red color is simply due to high concentrations of iron oxide in the underground springs that feed the sanctum. Essentially, it's rust naturally occurring in the water. Another idea points to the vermilion powder or sindor that priests regularly use in their rituals. Could the accumulation of this powder be the source of the color? However, these explanations don't fully satisfy everyone. If it were just iron oxide, wouldn't the water be red year-round, not just during a specific time? And while priests do use vermilion, could it account for the sheer volume and the specific timing of the phenomenon? Other researchers propose that the water flows through veins of red clay deep within the earth, carrying the sediment to the surface only when the water table rises during the monsoon season, which conveniently coincides with the festival. But even with modern geological surveys and water sample analysis, no single theory has been definitively proven. The exact origin of the color remains a puzzle, an enigma that science has yet to fully solve. Adding another layer to this mystery is the unique location of the temple itself. Perched atop Nilachal Hill, the area is known for having unusually strong geomagnetic activity. Local folklore and even some visitors claim that the natural magnetic fields here are so powerful they can make compass needles spin erratically. Could these unseen forces play a role? This brings us to a fascinating intersection where spirituality and science seem to blur. Perhaps the miracle isn't a supernatural event that defies the laws of nature, but rather a profound natural event that our ancestors recognized as sacred. In this view, the temple wasn't just built on a hill, but on a point of palpable telluric energy, a place where the earth's own pulse is strong and clear. The ancient rituals might have been designed to align with these natural cycles, celebrating the raw power of the planet itself. So, is Kamakhya a divine miracle, a geological anomaly, or a convergence of both? The truth may lie somewhere in between. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most sacred phenomena are deeply rooted in the very physics and chemistry of our world. The rhythm of faith and the rhythm of nature might just be two different ways of listening to the same universal song. As we continue to explore and question, the Kamakhya Temple stands as a testament to the beautiful, enduring mysteries that connect our spiritual beliefs with the scientific wonders of the cosmos. Beyond the realm of scientific explanation, we enter the world of profound symbolism, a language that speaks directly to the soul. Here, the annual bleeding of the Kamakhya Temple is not seen as a mere geological event, but as a powerful symbol of the Earth's own fertility cycle. It represents a deep cosmic connection between the feminine principle and the very fabric of nature. In ancient Indian traditions, menstruation was never viewed through a lens of impurity. Far from it. It was celebrated, revered as the sacred rhythm of life itself, a sign of a woman's creative power. This understanding is beautifully encapsulated in the worship of Kamakhya. The temple and its annual festival remind us of a fundamental truth. Every act of creation, from a single life to the entire cosmos, begins in a flow that is divine, sacred, and pure. When the goddess rests during this period, it is not a sign of weakness or impurity. It is a powerful lesson in itself. She rests because even the most potent creative force requires a period of renewal, of gathering strength. Her rest teaches us the importance of cycles, of action and inaction, of giving and receiving, of creation and regeneration. It is in this sacred pause that the potential for new life is nurtured, preparing for the next magnificent cycle of creation. This is the wisdom of the divine feminine, a force that understands the delicate and powerful balance of life. For centuries, a single question has echoed through the hills of Assam. What is the secret of Kamakhya? For decades, scientists, historians, and pilgrims have journeyed to this sacred ground, each seeking their own truth. They've brought with them microscopes and manuscripts, faith and skepticism, hope and curiosity. They've tested the waters, analyzed the rock, and consulted ancient texts. Hundreds, if not thousands, of theories have been born from this quest. From geological explanations involving iron oxides and underground springs, to tales of divine power and cosmic cycles, The human mind has stretched to its limits to grasp the phenomenon that unfolds here each year. Yet, despite all our efforts, despite the mountains of data and the libraries of speculation, Kamakhya keeps her secret. The veil remains. The goddess smiles, shrouded in a mystery as deep and as old as the Brahmaputra river that flows nearby. And as the years turn into decades, and the decades into centuries, a profound realization begins to dawn on us. Perhaps the miracle of Kamakhya was never meant to be solved. Perhaps it wasn't a puzzle waiting for a clever mind to unlock it. Maybe its purpose was never to be explained, dissected, and filed away in the annals of human knowledge. Maybe, just maybe, the true purpose of this divine event is simply to be witnessed, to be experienced, to stand before it in humble awe and feel the limitations of our own understanding. We live in an age obsessed with answers. We want everything explained, quantified, and demystified. We hunt for certainty, for the comfort of a neat conclusion. But Kamakhya gently pushes back against this impulse. It reminds us that there are forces in this universe far greater than our comprehension. It teaches us that faith is not about finding all the answers. It's not a checklist of proven facts. True faith, in its most powerful form, is about finding peace in the wonder. It's about being comfortable with the unknown and finding solace in the sheer majesty of a mystery that transcends our world. It's the quiet acceptance that some things are beautiful precisely because they are inexplicable. This is where the intellect steps back and the heart steps forward. This is where analysis gives way to adoration. When you let go of the need to know why, you open yourself up to simply feel. You feel the energy of the place, the collective devotion of millions who have stood where you stand, and the profound connection to something ancient and eternal. Every year, as the monsoon clouds gather and the Ambubachi Mela begins, a hush falls over the land. The temple doors close and the world waits. And when the signs appear, when the earth itself seems to bleed, it's not just a local event. It's a message that ripples across the globe, a reminder broadcast from the heart of creation. The message is simple, yet it's the most profound truth of all. It tells us that the very act of creation is sacred. The cycle of life, of fertility, of birth and renewal, this is the dance of the divine. It's not something that happened once long ago in a distant mythology. It is happening right now. It is in the soil beneath our feet, the air we breathe, and the blood that flows within us. The goddess is not just a statue in a temple. She is the living, breathing, creative force of the universe itself. And so, as we look upon the crimson waters, we are not just seeing a scientific anomaly or a religious ritual. We are seeing a reflection of the divine feminine energy that animates all of existence. We are reminded that this planet, our home, is a sacred being, capable of miracles that defy our logic but nourish our souls. Kamakhya teaches us that the world is enchanted, if only we have the eyes to see it. The mystery continues, and it will continue long after we are gone, and that is its greatest gift. It ensures that future generations will also have the chance to stand here, to wonder, to question, and ultimately to find their own peace in the magnificent, unsolved riddle of the bleeding goddess. It is a legacy of awe, passed down through the ages. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey into the heart of faith and mystery. If this story has moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more stories of wisdom. Your support allows us to continue exploring the profound narratives that shape our world. Om Devi Kamakhya Namah.